Whoever said that video games don't teach you anything is lying, because I want to tell you a story about one game that taught me obsession, expanding my horizons, and perseverance through one of the most broken kart racers ever. If you know anything about this game, it will throw everything at you and still expect you to roll with the punches, no matter how unfair it may seem. But despite this title essentially raising me, this was not my first exposure to Mario Kart. Let's travel back to when I was a little kid who didn't own any games yet. My cousin thankfully exposed me to the goods, aka Super Mario Kart and Double Dash. It's a shame that I was so young that I didn't even know how to turn corners properly, so I don't even count those as real Mario Kart experiences. Those were mere appetizers for what was to come. Eventually, my cousin stopped bringing over his consoles, therefore I had no more Mario Kart to play. That is, until my family finally got their hands on the Wii. No, we were not lucky enough to grab one at launch, but one of the first games I remember getting was this familiar little kart racer called Mario Kart Wii. This was finally the first Mario Kart I owned, and I was more than ready to sink my teeth into these 32 brand new tracks. Maybe this was my chance to actually know how to play the game for once. I don't have the box anymore, but I do remember getting the bundle with the infamous Wii wheel that was all the rage. Like many others, I thought the idea of an unlicensed child driving a virtual vehicle was so cool. It was like I was crashing into walls with my own hands. And then I quickly realized that maybe little Yello shouldn't be put behind the wheel, and opted for the more traditional Wii remote and nunchuck. To this day, I always choose automatic drifting, no matter what, despite actually knowing how to do it now. It's one of those habits I'll take with me to the grave. I also instinctively shake my controller to perform tricks, even in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Don't look at me. Once I finally comprehended how to complete a lap, I became obsessed. I played every single map to death, to the point where I memorized the course order by heart. For what reason, I don't know. To the point where I ultimately wanted to challenge myself, getting all the trophies in every cup, in every CC. I know that's nothing crazy now, but this was the first time winning on my own terms. Every race was mine to conquer, with what little skill I had. But apparently, not only did I want to score first in every cup, I wanted at least 1 star in each as well. That meant staying in first place during the race for as long as possible. With a game that throws 500 blue shells at you, that is kind of a tall order for an 8-year-old. How I didn't throw my controller across the room is a miracle. Night and day, I would relentlessly race until I scored just another gold box in my profile. I remember I almost got in trouble for trying to beat a cup right before I had to leave for school. I did not want to give up. After countless losses, close calls, and crushing defeats, eventually I actually did it. I secured 32 gold boxes in Mario Kart Wii on my own. That is still one of my proudest achievements, especially for a kid that didn't even reach high school yet. But then, something was very wrong with my Wii. After years of admittedly use and abuse, the disk drive became extremely loud and distracting. I tried Googling how to fix it, which required disassembling the whole thing, and asking a kid to do that was off the table. So I just dealt with an obnoxiously loud Wii for years, until I was able to score my grandparents' much quieter Wii. I'm telling you, everyone really did have a Wii back in the day. But here's the thing. All of my data was still on my original very loud Wii, and back then, I didn't know how to transfer save data. Not that you could with Mario Kart Wii anyway. So what did that mean? Playing through the entire game again, and getting all the trophies again, including those stupid stars. Unfortunately, I don't have my original Wii since I gave it away, but you'll have to trust me when I say that I suffered twice. I can't fake Mario Kart scars like that. This was also my introduction to playing Nintendo games online for the first time. I know it's crazy that it took me years to figure out, but for the longest time, I could not connect my Wii to the internet. I was like, Dad, what's a WebKey and why doesn't it work? But when I finally figured it out, I was so excited that I begged a classmate in middle school to play Mario Kart Wii online with me. Now back then, it was a little clunky. Wii numbers and game-specific friend codes were 2 separate things apparently. I remember me and my classmate exchanging those numbers on like real physical paper, caveman days. days. And then I said something like, okay, exactly at 8 p.m. tonight, meet me online and let's race. Cause back then I had no phone, no Skype, not even MSN Messenger. So I really just had to trust my classmate to actually show up. And thankfully, they did. Now, do I remember how the races went? Absolutely not. It was more of the magic of online gaming itself. I told someone to meet me in an online game and they showed up. Absolutely mind-blowing for a little kid. I did play Mario Kart Wii online on my own terms and quickly came to the wow, I suck realization that everyone experiences when playing their first online game. Really, this was the last time I experienced the Wii's official online service before that fateful day in May 2014, which was conveniently when I fully moved on with my new Wii U and Mario Kart 8. As someone who literally grew up with Mario Kart Wii, why wouldn't this be my favorite Mario Kart? It was home to so many chaotic races with family and friends before I had access to online gaming. That sense of couch competitive gaming was so prevalent during the Wii days. The last hurrah before I secluded myself to Mario Kart Online with randoms for the foreseeable future. I usually avoid completion because I'm impatient and hate being stumped, but for some reason, Mario Kart Wii had a chokehold on me. I'm convinced that this game single-handedly taught me perseverance, and how it was never going to be easy or fair, but still possible, with enough patience. I can totally understand why this entry is not the most popular Mario Kart game. Well, no duh, Mario Kart 8 is right there. I'm sure if I picked up this game today, I would not put up with the frankly ridiculous chaos. I remember trying the fan favorite Mario Kart 64 in my teens and having zero fun. They really said, rubber banding? Yes, all of it. But in another universe where this game was my first Mario Kart, I'm sure I would have the same tolerance as I do with Mario Kart Wii. First game bias is a real thing. I regret not figuring out Mario Kart Wii Online sooner, as I was only able to enjoy it a handful of times before the service shut down. Since I already completed most of the game, I had nothing left to do, so naturally I put it down for a while. But then, years later, I discovered that fans took matters into their own hands and hosted fan-made servers for the Wii. With Mario Kart Wii as sort of the flagship example, the prospect of restoring online connectivity that was previously lost, along with my inherent nostalgia, I couldn't resist. It was quite literally reconnecting with a long-lost childhood memory. And even cooler was discovering how talented Mario Kart modders were with custom tracks. Like, some of y'all are too powerful. I hope the Nintendo ninjas don't see this, but it's genuinely cool exposing myself to fans' creativity within the limits of the Wii hardware. It opens my eyes to how dedicated the fan community is, and how lost Nintendo history may not be lost forever. Everything about this game reminds me of having all the time in the world, fully sinking my teeth into something I loved, learning the ins and outs, and truly conquering as much as I could. I'm not gonna pretend like I was a complete master or anything, but I allowed myself to fail and keep going until I knew the game like the back of my hand. I appreciate that this title taught me that if I wanted to achieve something, it was gonna be difficult, but ultimately rewarding in the end. Mario Kart Wii can feel extremely chaotic and messy, but that's what I love about it. Sometimes I think Mario Kart 8 is polished to a fault, because everything feels so balanced and, dare I say, too perfect. I do kinda miss when Mario Kart used to be truly unpredictable, and Mario Kart Wii embodies that so well. So if I ever want to challenge myself all these years later, I know which chaotic game I'm choosing.